shouldn't have turned that wrong because now I don't know if we're actually in shot. I think we are. I pointed it that way for the microphone and you're about to twist it too far. Yep.
Have faith.
I can't
I
trust...
was using fingertips, no.
No, I can't trust anything I've done today after accidentally removing my own beard. When you can accidentally remove your own beard, then you can't be trusted.
If it helps, I poured coffee on my Weetabix the other day. My cup of milk was a bit boring as well. It's like, when you just... I'd done it quickly and sat down, I was like, what the fuck have I done?
Oh...
I've not had a good week actually. I shared one coffee with the floor as well. I just turned around and went, whoop.
Fair enough. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Talking Point. It has been...
We're back!
Nearly... It's been a month.
Yeah. Paddy went to Canada.
Yeah, I buggered off to Canada.
And brought back lots of weird beers, which...
There is a massive
tiny cans.
Artisan beer scene in Vancouver and it's... Yeah, it does occasionally sprout tiny cans, but...
Oh man, we're from Yorkshire. We should have more, really.
We do, we just don't know of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how we even got to the point of the last talking point, which was what's your opinion on VR? I can't remember what our opinion on it was.
It's probably not a good thing. People have opinions, that's positive. People actually responded for it.
This is it. I've got to tip my hat to Craig because his response was better. The most accurate response of what's your opinion on the current VR trend? Did I just wake up in the 80s?
He's right though, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Because it is a cyclical thing. Let's try and condense some of these. Dan Allen thinks it's awesome to see VR finally taking off, but people are going to be surprised at just how slowly it gains momentum. It'll happen, but VR sets like the Oculus won't do anything more than rich man's toys for at least another couple of years. I'd go as far as to say a decade.
Depends what they can get the price down to.
Yeah.
The problem is now what we consider expensive. Think about it. If it's the price of a TV, you could probably justify it at a push. Anyone single could justify it.
This is the thing. It's where what classifies as expensive now, because I know that some of the things that I just brush off as, oh fuck it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I'd have punched myself in the head.
Yeah.
Like I bought a new Hulk model. It's pretty cool. Cost me 40 quid. I didn't even think about it till after I'd bought it, and I went, "This is awesome," but it's 40 quid on a statue. Or I'll pay 100 quid on a collector's edition and...
Yeah, I don't do any of this. I turn up with beer that I found in my garage. It's not quite the same thing. But...
So yeah, he's right. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a slow build up. To mirror that, Sony's president Yoshida this week was saying he's not worried about Oculus competing with Morpheus because they won't compete with each other. They are both the forebears of the VR.
Yeah.
And it will take, he thinks, a good couple of decades before the kinks are worked out and it becomes general practice.
Well, it's that whole thing. It depends. I don't know how difficult it is to develop a game for Oculus. Essentially, you're going to render two perspectives of the same scene in two different...
the Unreal Engine does it.
Ah, well, there you go then.
Basically, you just give the Unreal Engine multiple cameras.
If it doesn't cost any extra to do, then it could take off quite quickly.
It means you have to think about your game's level design differently, because obviously you've got instead of dealing with a single point camera that's going to go wherever you tell it to go, you've got a dual point camera that's going to go wherever that person wants to turn his goddamn head.
Yeah, that's the only thing, isn't it? But still, for shooters, that's good.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to go back to my Shattered Horizons was the game, I think. 3D in-space shooter where enemies come at you from any angle, whatever. That is where this kind of technology works. Because that game limited by having to point your gun where you want it to look. You can never see what was coming at you. This solves problems. Basically, it opens up the gameplay a bit.
Yeah. Basically,
it's like your Valkyrie stuff.
Valkyrie's getting a bit of a following behind it, because CCP have shut down World of Darkness, which means they've got development resource back, which means Valkyrie's getting more resource. It's getting Katie Sackhoff.
I'm going to pretend I know who that is.
The female pilot from Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Didn't watch that, did you?
Nope. I know the premise. They've got Cylons in it, right? That's what they're called. With the silly, like a bit like Knight Rider. Yeah.
Google Katie Sackhoff at some point. She's in it, so that's a good. That's a famous name attached to that. She's going to be the voice of something during the single player campaign, which means there's going to be a single player campaign.
Which would be nice.
And at the same time, CCP are also bringing Dust to PC.
Oh, that's going to be good.
As a new game. It's not. They've had to retool quite a lot of it, but that's besides the point. That's not answering this question anyway.
Yeah.
Stuart Renton, he's been waiting and praying for this for years, longer than that, decades. Used to play Legend Quest, which is a VR fantasy D&D, and since then I've been waiting for the technology to catch up so I can have an awesome experience. That's it. You can't wait for something cool to come out or an Unreal haunted house experience.
Well, I'm just thinking. I'm just remembering the original
Time Crisis.
Yeah. To be fair, anything where it pays to be immersed in the environment, which is everything pretty much.
Yeah.
As long as it's a game with a story or something that a proper world, it's going to be fun.
Time Crisis would be the ideal.
Would it?
Time Crisis or Land of the Dead, House of the Dead. That kind of on rails cover-based shooter.
The only problem is, how would it know where you're aiming your gun? Because
well, you'd have to have a gun peripheral.
Yeah.
You've got your head movement for camera. You can actually duck behind.
But then how would it know where you're aiming it? I assume you'd have to have something for...
Well, it's got to be for the Wii U, so they can have the sensor bar with a light on the end of the gun. Job done.
I love the thought, you know what I look forward to more than anything with this? The fact that you could leave the person in a room all by himself and him not know.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody gets the rockets right, go on mate, yeah, go on. Just sneak out of the room, turn the lights off. Is that just me that thinks that's a cool prank?
Tim Hassel had never been hands-on with it, so he's sceptical.
I think a lot of the issues, nobody's used it yet.
Yeah, so few people have actually been hands-on with it, and I don't think anybody's going to come up with it. Deborah Croupiers loves the idea of VR, but thinks there's a limited amount of time with those glasses that you can go per day. She's going on the health aspect. Because, there is the same reason everybody gets motion sickness when playing certain types of games. It's the disconnect between what your eyes are seeing and what your auditory sensory network is receiving.
Yeah.
Because it's your balance centres that decide whether or not you're going to throw up. If the reason you get motion sickness is disparity between the visual and balance centres.
I'm moving, but I'm sat still.
Yeah, I'm moving, but my brain doesn't tell me. That must mean that there's some chemical imbalance in my system. That means I must have eaten something. Let's get rid of it. It's the basic.
I'm still waiting. What's the one with the one that beams into your retina?
Oh, Lux, I know which one you mean, because there's 4 of them now.
That, to me, sounds more like a good idea.
Yeah.
It sounds daft, but the headset itself actually looks smaller. I don't know about limitations of it, resolution and so on. But that looks cool.
Resolution, they're actually better placed than any of the others, because they don't have the screen limiting the resolution. They've just got the resolution of a much smaller projector. And what the human eye can see. And I'm pretty sure the human eye's resolution
is pretty good.
It's pretty damn high.
Apparently not as good as a retina screen. Fuck off, Apple. I hate that one. They always used to say, you can't tell the difference between that and anything. You can't see individual pixels. And I suppose you can't at that distance.
I'm sorry, I haven't been able to see the individual pixels in anything I've viewed since 1995.
What? You need bigger screens with lower res.
Yeah, but why would you have them?
That's it, you just sit slightly further back, don't you?
Yeah.
And you're fine.
I was quite happy with the amount of pixels on the Mega Drive. The late generation Mega Drive games weren't that bad.
They were, Paddy. This is nostalgia vision you've got on right now.
Fuck off.
If you go back and play any of these games, they were freaking awful.
Yeah, I know, but...
I remember playing games. I remember playing the original Gran Turismo and thinking, it's like I'm there. You go back and play it now and think, is that a car?
Yeah.
Is that a wheel? No.
Yeah, it was a square wheel. Okay, then.
Yeah.
So we need a talking point.
Yeah.
And I've got one that will probably cause me to rant quite a bit. E3 is coming up.
Yeah.
Nintendo have confirmed that they won't be doing a proper presentation. They're going to do one of the digital ones again.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they going to announce? At this point, what the hell can Nintendo do at E3?
Yep.
They can't announce new hardware. There's rumours bounded around that they were going to announce new hardware. But they quickly put the kibosh on that.
The last thing the Wii U needs is a peripheral.
The last thing that
You've got to sell the console.
But this is the thing. They're in the ultimate catch-22 at this point. They need to get rid of the Wii U because it's dead. It's lost it. There's nothing they can do that can pull this back at this point.
No, they could pull it back, right?
How?
They need third parties. The actual bit of kit.
Yeah, but they
itself,
won't get third parties with the Wii U. The third parties will now be sat there waiting to see what Nintendo do next.
I don't know. Because Nintendo have never had the third parties, and they succeeded.
No, they fluked. The Wii was a fluke.
Yeah. But it was a fluke without third parties. They need to win over the third parties. Which means they need to put some kind of incentive into them actually using it. It's kind of chicken egg with gamers and games.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to make a game for a console that has no gamers, and no gamer wants to buy a console that has no games. So Nintendo needs to have their first party titles really sell the console. So you've got Mario Party.
Mario Party's not... Oh.
Not Mario Party, Mario Kart, sorry.
But this is it, the
Yeah, we're running out of titles.
Mario Kart is coming out next month.
That'll sell a fair few.
No, it'll sell a fair few games. It won't ship consoles.
It will.
It won't.
It will.
Think about it.
People that bought the Wii for the Mario Kart. I keep wanting to say party.
No. You know people that bought the Wii, they just happened to get it with Mario Kart. Nobody bought the Wii for Mario Kart.
They did.
Nobody bought any Nintendo console for Mario Kart. They just bought Mario Kart because they had a Nintendo console.
That's not true. I know people that actually bought a console. Granted, there was a bit of pressure involved.
Yeah.
To the point where I think we said we're going to start playing Mario Kart. Of all the networked experience, of all the online games, Mario Kart's probably the weakest. But we said, let's play Mario Kart. So we started playing it every other night. And then we just forced people to buy it. And then they went.
See, but that's not. That's
they
not.
They got it because of Mario Kart.
No, they got it because you're a twat.
No, we could have picked another game that everyone had, but Mario Kart came out. So.
Nothing on the Nintendo sells consoles.
Quite nice.
No first party Nintendo game will ship a console, and Mario Kart is no exception. I refuse to accept that it may see a small blip.
There will be a blip. It's guaranteed
There'll be
an increase in sales.
Yeah, there'll be a blip that is those hardcore Nintendo fans that quite sensibly held off.
Yeah.
Because if you use a voucher code that appears on the Tesco website when you load the new Mario Kart 8 Wii U bundle, which is down to £219.
Nice.
There's a voucher code that shows up for anything over £150 that knocks another £30 off it.
Jesus.
Throw into that, Nintendo are actually giving away a free game to anybody who registers their copy of Mario Kart before the end of July.
I think it could sell.
Yes, it'll have a temporary blip, but it's not enough to save the console. You've got to admit, Wii U...
It was a failure.
It's a failure, but are they... Nintendo really, financially, could do with ditching it. But they can't ditch it because they can't ditch something that's only 2 years old.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're flogging a dead horse because it's an interesting...
No. At this point, they're flogging glue. The horse died a long time ago.
It's been processed.
This thing has rendered and it is gone.
But it's not that bad a console. I can't believe I'm telling you how your console isn't a failure.
I know.
It's not that bad. It's not as bad as it could be.
It could be worse, yeah.
Emulate DS games. Mm-hmm. Sorted. There's a massive
increase. We've been through this one before. That's my only hope. That Now, yeah, the rumours were that they were going to announce new hardware. They can't do that because they can't kibosh a two-year-old console.
What if the new hardware is something that allows you to play DS games?
See, that's it. The Fusion is what the rumours are. The actual hardware is the both consoles are one and the same. They merge the DS and the home console.
Yeah.
But at that point, they'd be shooting themselves in the foot for killing a 2-year-old console and killing the 3DS, which is doing quite well now that they've brought out the 2DS variant.
Yeah. I just think, right, they just need a little adapter, put in your DS game, play it on big screen.
Yeah, we said that numerous times.
Job done, sorted.
But I can't think what Nintendo could be announcing at this thing, because none of their first parties are...
A heartbeat monitor. No, they've done that before.
They've done that.
A fitness board. No, they've done that. Yeah, all the stupid peripherals always come from Nintendo, and generally they're not that good.
I can only hope that we're right, that they finally see sense and start releasing DS titles.
Pokemon. You can sit and play Pokemon on your Wii U.
Yeah. They've got GBA titles coming on already.
Well, there you go.
I don't know if Pokemon's one of the GBA titles yet, but Capcom have said they're putting their entire library up.
I just like the thought of you playing it on your bus or whatever, and you think, I'll just play an extra half hour at home, plug it in, sit and play it. I like that. I hate the fact that you always have to stick to a handheld console. I suppose you're playing a game, aren't you? It doesn't matter how you play it, as long as...
I suppose at that point, if they do create something that can create that connection, as we've suggested a couple of times, they've got the third parties back. Yeah. Because the third parties write games for the 3DS.
Yeah. Sorted. There you go, I've just solved Nintendo's problem. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
It's... Yeah, the main thing...
Wait, this was a question. What? What's happened?
I don't know, but...
What do we think the hardware is?
What can Nintendo do at E3 to redeem themselves, basically?
Yeah, should they do it? Should they even turn up? Probably not.
Unless they've got something big to announce. No. This is the weird thing is...
This is going to... I like the fact that, there's going to be a Nintendo store with someone going, "Buy Nintendo, please." Just stood there in the corner of an empty hall because everyone else is watching.
Yeah.
Sony, Microsoft...
Fuck it, I'm not even trying to make this into a question. Just basically, anybody. Has anybody got any ideas on what Nintendo are going to do at E3? Because they've got to do something. They've got to do something spectacular.
Because this has just become a what the fuck are Nintendo doing? They're going down the route of Sega.
I'm the fanboy and I'm the one that's
They're going
most
down the route
pissed
of
off.
Sega.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
See, if they announce new hardware, here's the kicker. If they announce new hardware, the people that they would piss off the most are the people that bought the Wii U. The only people that bought the Wii U are their hardcore fans.
Yeah.
They can't afford to bite the hand that feeds.
Yeah.
Even though the logical financial side of my brain says they need to scrap it. They're wasting money trying to keep this thing alive.
Cut your losses. Get
on to the next bit, get full HD, get Blu-ray put in there. Don't put a screen on it.
And they failed with the fact that
they didn't give a viable enough reason for that screen. I came up with more ideas than they've come up with.
They did, but the problem is, the only way they could implement that screen in such a way that it could be used was to use a capacitive screen, which means no multi-touch gesture nonsense.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately is how people use touchscreen these days.
Yeah.
So they've cut corners on their device to make it fit a price point, which has fucked over
That's
the usability of it.
There's where they go. There's the hardware they could come.
Screen.
Yeah, a gamepad with a. Actually, they couldn't do that.
Nope, because
they'd have to be still supporting the capacitive. Yeah. The resistive rather than the capacitive.
Unless they cut their losses and issue a new screen.
And issue a free upgrade. Yeah, free upgrade to everyone.
Yeah. That's the only way they could do that. Which, to be fair, that is a massive cost. And
yeah, but would it be worth it if they because once they've got a resistive, a capacitive screen.
Yeah, sorry,
they can open them.
Resistive is the one.
Yeah. Once they've got a capacitive screen, they can open themselves up to the app market.
Yeah.
Implement Android at the same time in the tablet.
That would be nice. But still, they're not going to do any of this.
I know.
They're going to try and convince us that the console is a success and we should buy it for Mario Kart.
And then Iwata's going to have to take another 10% pay cut because he doesn't want to fire anybody.
Yeah. Still be getting paid millions.
Yeah.
Right, so the question is, what the fuck's going on with
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Should we just cut our losses and end it there?
Yeah, we will try and come back to sense with these.
I don't think I looked at the camera once during.
No, I don't. I think I remembered it was there once or twice, but that's it.
I'm just going to cut you
We're
off.
off.
Yeah.